Alright, so you guys have seen this bike before. I've made a bunch of videos on it lately. This is my 1983 XR200 build. I've had this bike for a long time, and it is complete. I have finished it. It's got a brand new chain sprocket, but this rear sprocket is actually OEM. I found it on a website. It's like, from 1983, I guess, so that's cool. And the rest of the bike is 100%, besides the Renthal bar pad. The bars are original, but not the bar pad. Yeah, the pads I put on there. I did the front number plate myself. It was missing the yellow background, so I cut it out and put it on there. All the fine details, so like if you go look at the original, there's a hole right there. So I did all the fine details, cleaned up the plastic really nice. It runs like a champ. I love this bike. It just, man, it's so nice. And another thing I need to do is need to buy a back tire for it. This is an original back tire. It's still got some tread, but with the new sprocket on it, it just grips way too much. Like the chain grips the rear tire way too much. So I'm just sliding most of the time. So I'm gonna be ordering a rear tire for it. Kdub has one, and it's like a remake of this one. So I'm thinking about buying that. Otherwise, this bike runs really, really nice. It's muddy right now, because I just been riding it. Such a nice bike. It's so clean. Besides the muddiness, but it's so clean. So we'll get it started up here. Here it is, auto. Very cold outside. We had some snow last night. It all melted, but we had some snow last night. There's a little bit of racket coming from the suspension right here, but I really don't know how to fix that. It's old. Something else that needs to be done to it, which I have the parts to do it, but the compression release cable, I broke it when I originally took off the engine. So I bought a new one. I need to put it on, so it's a little hard to kick for people who don't have a strong leg and can't really kick these. But it's a great bike. I love this bike. Let's go for a ride real quick. So it's a 200cc, of course, and all I can really say about this bike is that I just love it. It's so much fun. It's really easy to ride. It'll go fast when you want it to go fast. It'll go slow when you want it to go slow. It's a beast when it comes to torque. So I'm climbing hills easily in this thing. But once I get a new back tire though, it'll be climbing cliffs. But this bike overall, had to rate it out of 10. This is like a 9. It's great. I love this bike, and I recommend. Most people would say like, man, we get a race bike or something, but me, these bikes are fun to me. I have the 250R in the garage, but I don't hardly ride it because it's It's all power, and I'm not always at a track. Look, I live out in West Georgia. It's just woods and hills, and so I ride things like this. And it's a vintage. I love vintage bikes. So, yeah, there's probably a lot of people out there who can agree with me. But vintage is just, it's got a special place in my heart. I absolutely love it. This bike is great, and if you can find one, that's awesome. Remember, they made this bike from like 79 or 78 maybe to 2002 or 2003 is when the XRs, they shut down the XRs and moved over to CRF, replaced this bike with a 230 and a 150. Those bikes are fun still because it's a trail bike, but these XR200's and XR250's and these old things like that, XR 185s, 175s, 125s, the XRs, they're great bikes. You can't kill them. I mean, obviously this one was killed, but it was an easy repair, and I'm back riding 30, 40 years later. So if you can find one of these, that's awesome. If you can find one like it, that's awesome. I mean, just keep them and ride them and make them look good, and don't bash them. Don't bash them at all. That's my final review of the XR200. I can't wait for another project, and I hope y'all enjoyed this. Bye.